Hello and welcome to my channel, Blissfully Single Bean. My name is Bean, your blissfully single one. I don't know how you got here, but I appreciate every eyeball that is eyeballing this video. Everyone who subscribed to me from the past month, subscribed to me from the past month. Oh my God. Thank you guys so much. Right now I'm at about 378 subscribers, and oh my gosh, the fact that you would actually subscribe to my channel, like, y'all really like me. That means a lot. It really does. From this self-professed woman with the ugly duckling syndrome, who was never popular, who was never the prettiest, the smartest, the fact that y'all rock with me like that, oh my gosh, thank you. All right, enough with all that sentimental BS. Anyway, last episode of Ready to Love for the season. This is bittersweet for me. The bitter part is that it's over. And this is the first series that I reviewed, and I love reviewing. I like it. I like speaking to you guys after the video and going back and forth on the comments. Again, I get excited every time I get a new subscriber. I'm like, thank you. So the bitter part is that it's over. I do want to keep reviewing, but I don't know what to review. I put up a review for Ambitions. Nobody really watched it. I put up a review for Love and Hip Hop New York. So can you guys do me a favor? Let me know what you're watching and some ideas on what I should review, because I want to keep talking to y'all past this Ready to Love. That's the bitter part. The sweet part is that it's over, honey. Y'all did not need to do a 2-part reunion. At the most, you could have did it an hour and a half and edited it in a way where you can fit everything in. But it's like, even watching the show, it's like, okay, yeah, this needs to be over. So bittersweet. Let's jump right into it. The episode picks up where it left off last week with Fuckboygate. Yeah. You know, Fuckboygate, where Mario tells Tandy, and arguably, this is arguably one of the most callous things I've ever seen in reality show history. And I listen, Mother has lived and Mother has seen some shit, you know, with this reality TV junket. But I will say, they ambushed Tandy. And I'm looking at nephew Tommy like, I'm looking at Will Packard like, because I felt like you guys set Tandy up. I felt like there could have been some kind of intervention that would have spared her this kind of humiliation. It's like, was that necessary? I don't know. I feel like, particularly as Black women, we are the least protected class in America, and arguably the world. And I feel like this whole scene, this whole ambush, is an example of where nobody cares about a fucking Black woman. You sink or swim. So in line with that, Mario, of course, reveals that, you know, he's with Reva now, and Reva's snapping her 2 fingers talking about the better woman won. I'm still trying to figure out what you want, huh? A greasy, cheap, controlling prick. Is that a prize? Okay. So, you know, Tommy is discussing, you know, Fuckboygate, and, you know, Mario says that, you know, he was struggling after Reva left. Did you, where was the struggle? You were in pottery class with Tandy on some ghost shit. You remember seeing a ghost with Demi Moore? And then Patrick Swayze's behind her? Like, when were you struggling? I didn't see that, Mario. Like, stop lying. And then Reva was going over the timeline that Mario came over after they broke up. Whatever. The timeline doesn't make sense, because Tandy says they've been broken up for less than 2 weeks. So within those 2 weeks, you have figured out she's the love of your life. Reva's the love of your life, Mario. This is for you, Mario, huh? Sweaty Mario. All right? Sweaty Mario declares that, you know, corpse face Reva is the love of his life. Okay? They take trips together. That is mad sus, my ninja. Mad sus, all right? I'm led to believe that you've been talking to this woman. Y'all better stop playing with me with this nonsense. But anyway, you know, Tommy calls a timeout, so everybody goes to break. And I thought this was a very interesting dynamic because you see Ashima and Tandy talking, and then you see the rest of the fellas talking, and it's so men. I'm trying to find a nice politically correct way of saying this. I'm trying to finesse my next statement. Men are assholes. Men are assholes. Men tend to be dogs. Men tend to be like this brotherhood where, it was disgusting to me to see these men talking and defending Mario's actions. It's bullshit. It's straight bullshit. And even if you guys felt like Mario and Riva are more compatible, and Mario was following his heart, fine. That's one issue. Because honestly, looking at the show, Mario and Riva do seem to be compatible. Riva has this very dry way about her. She doesn't have much of a personality. Mario, needs somebody dry that he can control. So yes, I do see the compatibility, but there's a certain way that you go about things. There is a certain way that you go about things. There's a way you could have finessed the situation where you did not have to humiliate Tandy. And the fact that these sophomoric asinine men would have this conversation and not understand the difference between following in your heart and humiliating the next woman, I was blown away. Or what was he supposed to do? He was torn between two women. First of all, I don't believe he was torn between two women. Nothing this season showed me that. Okay? Yeah, you're torn between two women, but you steady running around after Tandy and giving her clay rings and shit. Hell out of here with that. Anyway, they flash over to Tandy and Ashima talking. And Ashima's that girl that every bitch needs. Pull off the earrings. What's up? What are we doing? Just say the word and let me know what's up. All right? And, they talk. They go back out on the stage. And I'm going to end this here because I don't want to give this any more. I don't want to give this situation any more light because I think just Mario's such an asshole. I think Riva is just a dirty. As much as you want a friend like Ashima, a friend like Riva, you're better off with enemies because that was dirty. So they go back and Tommy asks Tandy to say the final word to close this up. Thank God. And Tandy basically said, I feel like I'm paraphrasing, but not in so many words. Even if you felt like your heart belonged over to Riva, why did you waste my time like that? He wasted your time like that because he really liked you, and things didn't work out with you and him because you don't strike me as a woman that can be controlled. But Tandy, you know what? That's okay. I guarantee you this relationship will not last past 2 weeks. And by the way, Riva and Mario, how do you guys date in Atlanta? Like, I don't. Because I know if I was in Atlanta and I saw you two walking, hand in hand, I'd throw a tomato at your ass. So how do you go to these shops and not feel uncomfortable? Anyway, Tandy, I don't really believe in karma because I feel like karma doesn't strike the people that karma really needs to strike. But sit back. You will have the last laugh. So anyway, Tandy thankfully wraps up, that whole fuckboy gate, and we're happy to see that one go. On a lighter note, y'all remember Celibate John? Remember Celibate John? Celibate John was a little bit corny, just a little bit corny. Celibate John, came into the house and declared that, he hadn't had sex for 2 years and he doesn't intend on having sex until he's married. That's honorable, Celibate John. But Celibate John, you can't. This is not the format, for celibacy and wait until marriage. It's just not. Like, and then you flash back, to his brief time in the house. And then, Tommy asked him a question, how are you doing? What, blah, 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 blah. But then it's revealed that Celibate John is married. I's married now. I said I's married. Everyone was looking at each other like, what the hell did this marriage come from? He reveals he's been married for 4 weeks now. Child, really? And once we unearth everything, Tommy says, you mean you came on my show and you already had a girlfriend? Tommy, have a stadium full of seats, Tommy, all right? Please stop acting like your vetting process is on point, okay? You got a stage full of actors and actresses. Like, most of the people are not looking for love. They're looking for their chance at the spotlight. Let Celibate John get on your show with the girlfriend to see if he's really messing with the girlfriend like that. And it worked out. By the time Celibate John was voted off, Celibate John was like, oh, this is for the birds. Baby, let's get married. And so Christina, you remember Christina, the lawyer? Christina was like, well, I'm a divorce attorney. I specialize in divorces. And everybody's laughing on stage because that was really cute. Wishing harm on someone's new marriage. That's really cute. But you know, Christina, here's the gag. You left the show single and Celibate John is not. Boop, boop. So next we come to the main event. And I say main event because I felt like I was really waiting for this Divine, Alexis, London, and Brent moment and the back and forth. And it kind of fell flat for me because they were talking about... Oh, I'm sorry. The wine. Hold on. They were talking about the same stuff that we already covered. So it kind of felt very redundant for me. So they go over to the Ready to Love square. Get it? It's not a love triangle. It's a square because it's 4 people. Yeah, amusing. So they go over to that and, you know, they play the flashbacks. And even when they're playing the flashbacks, you can clearly see how London is playing both sides of the fence. So, Tommy wants to know how are all the couples doing. And he asks Divine and London first. So Divine says, the way that Divine answers is similar to how, what's that pretty girl from last semester who was with Mike Glass? Shay, I think that's her name. Shay answered. Basically, once the show is over, there's a nervousness or an anxiety. It's like, okay, what do we do now? Like, you know, oh. So she felt that nervousness, and so did London. So London made a good point. London said, now that the show is over, you know, it's time to kind of recalibrate, just slow down and take things, you know, one day at a time, step by step. Do not put added pressure on you too. So London, you know, says the same thing, that, you know, security is something that's really important to him. And Divine has basically been his security, his safe place or whatever. London revealed that he recently bought a home, he recently moved, and he appreciated Divine. At that moment, kind of, why did you appreciate Divine? Was she an emotional support throughout the home buying and moving process? Did she sell you the house? Did she put boxes on her back to help you move? That was kind of unclear where the gratitude came from with the whole buying a house process. But, you know, there is, you know, they have a good chemistry. You know, London seems giddy, you know, and of course Divine is always, you know, very, you know, laid back and collected. So they seem, from the outside looking in, they seem happy with each other, but I still don't trust London. I'm sorry. So, you know, he addresses the question to Alexis and Brent, and Alexis and Brent's body chemistry threw me off because they just didn't seem close. Whereas Divine and London, Divine was leaning on London. Alexis and Brent sat apart. I didn't feel the chemistry. Alexis did explain that after the show ended, they wanted to get to know each other more, so they were going to fly out to Miami, but Hurricane such and such stopped it, so they ended up staying in Atlanta and had a staycation. Fine. I'm not convinced. So, you know, Tommy asked a really great question, and I appreciate the question because somebody made a comment under one of my videos saying being a ride or die is not a good thing. So Tommy asks Divine the question, how do you feel about being, you know, his ride or die? And Divine said, you know, being a ride or die, we hit a bump in the road with that, you know, that label that he gives Divine, because Divine said being a ride or die means you can do anything. You know, there's a complacency there. I can mess around, I can lie, I can cheat, I can do whatever because she's always going to be here. So Divine did not want that to be who she was. So they had to work that out. And of course, Alexis had, you know, to jump on top of that and say, you know, I feel like London had Divine in his back pocket. So no matter no matter what, Divine would be there. So when London got to a point where he realized that, it wasn't going to happen between me and him, that's, when he chose, Divine. And basically, the same narrative. Divine was second choice. London jumps in and says Divine was not second choice. I don't know. On one end, I feel like Divine was second choice because he was going after Alexis crazy hard. But then at another point, I feel like London saw the crazy that was Alexis, and he made the right choice. Like, I'm not trying to deal with all this crazy. Like, no, thank you. The face is very pretty, but all of this, all of that, no, don't want it. So, London explained that, Divine is not second choice. And while London is explaining himself, Ashima and Tandy exchange looks like nigga, whatever. First of all, Tandy, sit down. You just got your face cracked in front on a national platform. Shut up and humble yourself. Number one. Number two, Ashima, you really think your 2-week-old relationship with Darren is unbreakable? Girl, all you need is some pretty young thing who loves salads and working out and loves the dogs to get Darren's attention. And girl, you'll be sitting on the other side of things. So don't try to be slick. I don't know. I just get so annoyed with this, get fresh crew that Tandy, Alexis, and Ashima have going on. So yeah, they exchanged glances. I was like, y'all girls need to simmer it down. So Divine jumps in, and Divine said, I had things twisted, because when she first came to the house and she saw the chemistry that London that she and London had, when she saw the chemistry that she had in her mind, oh, that's my man. In that mind, she's already claimed him. She clank already locked him down. But then she said she had to come to Jesus moment with herself, where it's like, nah, sis, like, he's not your man. You need to fall back and give it space and give it time. So Divine says, whatever happened to the point, everything that happened up until the point where they were in the rooftop together or whatever, and he chose her, that's none of her concern anymore. Like, word to Janae. None of her concern. Like, if he liked someone else, if he dated someone else, if he kissed someone else, okay, that's not her concern, because they weren't officially an item. And this is, I want to say this. I started off being ambivalent towards Divine. Actually, she kind of struck me as, she didn't seem like a kind of girl I can go to a club with, or, take shots of Tito's with. I didn't care for Divine. But I would say, as the season progressed, up until now, I have grown to love her. I've grown to love her because she has a mature way of assessing things, and then she can read your ass like an R. Kelly indictment. So, like, both ways, Divine is popping. This answer basically told Alexis, even if there were a kiss, it doesn't matter. I don't care what happened up until the point that we're officially an item. Keep it to yourself. A, you're not hurting me. B, that ain't had nothing to do with me. We were not exclusive then. So I looked at, they panned over to Alexis's face when Divine said that. Alexis was like, she had nothing to say. Absolutely nothing to say. So, I like that shutdown. I like that Alexis shutdown. So now they flash back to that uncomfortable wine bar scene, and as they're watching the tape, Divine looks absolutely unbothered. Divine's like, oh, she's smiling a little bit. Alexis, on the other hand, does not look amused. And at that moment, I'm wondering, Alexis, do you realize how awful you looked at that scene? In that scene, do you realize that you launched an unnecessary attack on Divine? It was unnecessary, and that's when the tide really turned for me with Alexis. I'm like, Alexis, you're just not a nice person. I don't fuck with bitches. So, Tommy asks Brent, well, how do you feel seeing, these girls go back and forth, seeing Alexis go back and forth with Divine over another man? And Brent was like, I mean, man, I had this conversation with Alexis. I told Alexis, you know what, if you want London, please, by all means. And, she assured me, that she didn't want London, and, it was me. Brent's laid back personality makes me think, I don't know. I don't know if he really likes Alexis like that. I'm between the body language, his laid back demeanor, but we'll get into that. Kissgate comes up, and where Alexis, talks about the kiss, and yeah, that's when I got to the point of that reading. I'm like, all right, we heard this already. So Tommy asks Divine if she believes there was a kiss. Divine does not believe there was a kiss. Divine says, and again, very mature response, but I'm gonna break it down like this. Divine says that there couldn't have, she doesn't believe there was a kiss because at the, get together or the dinner or the rooftop, wherever they were, Alexis and London were butting heads. So she can't imagine a kiss coming from that night. And I'm like, again, Divine, very mature answer and logical. But passionate moments come from that interaction that London and Alexis has means that there's an undercurrent of passion. So if there's an undercurrent of passion there, it is very likely that those two shared a kiss that night. And the fact is, I don't believe, I believe, I don't care for Alexis, but I believe Alexis when she says that London kissed her. First of all, Alexis went into great detail, and liars don't, well, I can't not call her a liar. I will say a lie doesn't go into that great of a detail. Like she went into, she was detailed. And I just don't, Tommy asks London, did he kiss her? And then he was like, no. And then Alexis says, look at me and tell me no. He was like, no. And I'm like, I still don't believe you. And here comes the Get Fresh crew jumping in. Ashima was like, well, when it happened, like, was that night you came over? Was that the night you came over? Oh, yeah, because that night you came over, it was me, some other people chilling at Ashima's house all randomly. And Alexis shows up, and she says when Alexis came in, she told him about the kiss. Tandy jumps in as well and says, she believes that Alexis is not lying and that a kiss, in fact, happened. At this point, I'm like, who the hell cares? Like, kiss or not, ultimately, he's not sitting on the couch next to you. Period. Damn, I was this is when I was like, come on. But then London, when they're talking about this, whole Kissgate nonsense, London brings up a good point. London is like, if we're not connecting, if you chose the next man, there's no need to assassinate my character, assassinate my image, assassinate who I am. And in that instance, London, I 100% agree with you. Alexis, if you don't fuck with London like that, then you don't fuck with him. Like, point blank, period. For you to talk about his gut, he's a bad kisser, he doesn't take care of himself, was unnecessary and childish. And you Alexis panty sniffers, I don't understand how you cannot call out her behavior. I know why you cannot call out her behavior, because she's the pretty girl that you wish you were. So you're eating all the shit that she has to offer. But in that moment, I 100% agree with London. All of that was unnecessary. And an FYI, where's the gut she was talking about? Because last week when we were watching the reunion and there was a scene where they were going over the Ashima and Chica beef, and Chica was saying something. London was standing right next to him. London was wearing all black, and he has a very nice body. He looked very sleek. I ain't see no gut. Shut up, Alexis. Anyway, Tommy wants to know how are things going with Brent and Alexis. Alexis was like, we're fine. We're good. We're together. And Christina was like, oh, y'all are together? And Alexis was like, yeah, we are together. Who's asking? Christina was like, I'm asking because I didn't hear y'all were together. And I feel like somebody dropped a bug in Miss Christina's ear, calling out the tea that Brent and Alexis are not in fact together. And I'm inclined to believe that because the chemistry just was not there. I didn't see it. I did not see it. So Tommy asked Brent, are they together? Brent was like, Alexis is giving Brent the eyes like, boy, you better not. Like, you know, those eyes your mom used to give you, like, you gonna answer this question the way these eyes tell you to answer that question. But Brent, slow ass, was like, we're dating. Y'all are dating? We're not convinced. we, so they go on a break, and then when they go on that break, Alexis says under her breath, we'll talk later. Talk about what, sis? Man, if y'all don't go ahead with this fake ass relationship with Alexis and Brent, y'all know y'all not together. So during the break, I found it so interesting. Divine went over to sit next to Alexis. And Divine was, Divine kind of, like pulled her in like for a hug, or put her arm around Alexis. She's like, you know what, I want this to be a classy affair, I want this to be mature, and Alexis says, yeah, because it is stressful. And at that moment I realized these ladies are not beefing. These ladies already worked out whatever they need to work out. They probably got on the phone, was like, listen, they're gonna try and make us tear each other out. All I'm asking, you can be honest, but just keep it classy. These ladies already had an understanding, and it makes sense to me because before this episode, Reunion Part 2, I follow Alexis on Instagram, and Alexis promoted the show using a photo of Divine and London. So when she did that, I took pause. I'm like, oh, are they cool again? Did they work something out? It was very nice to see that moment. It was Black women uplifting each other. Kudos to you, Divine, and kudos to you, Alexis. Y'all did that. Y'all did that all the ways, all right? So, during the break, Kimber goes over to Brent and says, are you okay? And Brent was like, I'm doing okay or whatever. I thought that was very nice of her. So they come back from break, and if y'all been rocking with me from my first review of this show, you would know who my favorite was. Aisha, you are the girl. I love Aisha. Was my favorite. When she got voted off, I was in my feelings. But I will say, again, y'all ninjas are full of all kinds of shit. And when I say shit, the runny green kind, not the hard solid kind. Y'all are full of it, okay? Because Aisha was apparently voted off because she was too strong. She was too aggressive. And y'all are full of it. You mean she was dating? She was trying to get in where she fits in, just like every other man and every other woman on that show was doing? Y'all need to stop. But what I like about this scene is that Brent jumps in, and Brent says, first and foremost, Brent, in this moment, you owned it, sir. You owned it. Brent said, I just want to jump in and say, I apologize for the use of the word aggressive. I think Aisha was here doing exactly what everyone else was trying to do, which is find love. And I feel like me as a person, I'm so laid back and I didn't see it and I misread it as aggression. Thank you for owning it. Thank you. Which opens up the conversation because Kimber jumps in and Kimber was like, that's BS because men move like that and nobody calls men aggressive. But let it be a woman, trying to date and trying to play the game. Oh, now she's too aggressive. Now it's bullshit and it's hypocrisy and it's a double standard. But guess what? Aisha had the last laugh. Y'all remember Mike? I'm sorry. I used to call him fake ass Alex from season 1. Let me tell you something. Behind the scenes, not even behind the scenes. This is stuff that the producers didn't want to include because the producers wanted us to give a damn about London, Alexis, and Divine. We didn't care. I wanted to see that Aisha was connecting with Mike because she was. And it's crazy too because when she was eliminated from the show, she had this energy where she didn't care. She wasn't hurt. I remember her just walking out looking really cute. Just, all right, it is what it is. Now I'm wondering, Aisha, did you know that you were going to circle back to Mike? Because Mike says when she got eliminated, he gave her a call, honey. And they have been dating and they are happy and their body chemistry. Mike had his hand around her the whole night. I noticed Mario didn't have his hands around Reva the whole night. That body chemistry wasn't there. But Mike and Aisha have been dating. Mike says, we get into little tussles here or there. Our biggest fight was that she wasn't spending enough time. Oh, That was what the fight was about. So cute. Aisha says she's getting to know his family. I think she has a daughter, and I think he has a son or something like that. But the families are getting to know each other. And Hunty, before I watch the reunion, come to find out, Mike and Aisha are engaged. Oh my God. I am so thrilled for her. I'm so thrilled for her because I don't know what was it about Aisha. There was something about her experience that I connected with. I don't know if it's the divorce. I've never been married, but I was with my children's father for close to a decade. So us breaking up, it felt like a divorce or it felt like a death. But as she came from an abusive situation, mine was no trip in the park. So a lot of her experiences I was able to connect with, to see that she would, they tried to play old girl and vote her off the show, and to see that she is engaged and happy. Oh my God. Oh child. Girl, I'm wishing you much blessings, much love. And I follow her on Twitter, and every time she posts about Ready to Love or something, I always reply, you were my favorite, because she was. And I have to say this. It seems like the genuine connections were made off the show. They really do, because the three couples standing, or the four, I can't say like I'm rooting for any of the four official couples. The real story were the supporting cast. Y'all are not slick. Y'all are not slick at all. So, Tommy, wraps everything up, and, Tommy says to Darren, what does the future hold for you and Ashima? And Darren was like, sunny and warm. Sunny and warm? That sounds like a forecast. That does not sound like a relationship, but all right, y'all can have that one. Divine in London. London got his new house. Divine's already making space in the closet. So they're spending time together. Divine, child, I love you. You made me grow to be like, to loving you. But I'm not sure if you and London are it. I just don't trust London. And Brent and Alexis talking about they getting to know each other, and we'll see where things go. Child, y'all are not fooling anybody. Nothing leaves me to believe that you guys are still together. And then the last couple, Riva and Mario, that's when I turn off the TV because I don't give a damn. That was it. Please do not forget to like, comment, and most importantly, subscribe. I'm at 378 subscribers. My watch time is at 140,000 something. I'm trying to get my watch time to 240,000 and my subscriber count to 1,000. So I can see if I can make a coin from this thing called YouTube. So bitch can get out of Home Depot at night. Like, I'm not trying, I need to supplement my part-time income in a smarter way, and Home Depot is not it. I really hope you guys liked, and if you liked this video, and if you did, please share. Please, please, please. That is it. Oh, and one more thing. Don't forget, please, 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 if there's a show you'd like me to review, please drop it down in the comment box. The show is ending, and again, I need the subscriber count to come up and my views to come up, and the only way that I can do that is by getting views. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for sticking around. I will catch you in the next one. Have a blessed Sunday. Bye.